So when I first purchased my house, um, my idea was to just do Airbnb. I bought it under market value. It took me a little bit longer to fix up than I wanted to. It took me a couple years to fix it up and get it ready, fully furnished. And I'll make a whole another video talking about how I furnished it and saved some money doing that. But yeah, it took me a couple years to get it ready. The first 4 months of doing Airbnb was kind of rough. I was covering the mortgage and all the bills and stuff, but I wasn't really making any profits. I had to buy a lot of things that I forgot to put in, and I had to pay the cleaners, and you know, that's one tip that I'll give you guys is make sure you have good cleaners, and because that's going to be huge. That's going to be a huge part of the business. You have to make sure you got the house cleaned up and ready to go, and make sure the cleaners are there on time. So that's going to be huge for you. Make sure you have some good cleaners. But yeah, after the first 4 months, I started making good profits. I got my system down. I bought some extra linens and stuff for the beds. Got better pictures, and yeah, I was making good money, but it was still a lot of work. I would clean it myself sometimes, and I'm working a full-time job, so that's kind of hard to do. But then I came across a YouTuber. I think his name is Jesse Vasquez. But yeah, he was the first one I'd seen talking about doing midterm rentals, and I never heard about that. And yeah, the midterm game is just so much easier than doing Airbnb, and your profits are so much wider. So yeah, that's what made me want to jump into it. And I started there's a couple websites you could list your house on. You got to reach out to insurance companies and figure out, do you want to rent out to nurses or what you want to do. But yeah, I just started putting on my Facebook, on my social media, that I have a house ready to be rented out. So what I did was, on Airbnb, I shortened the length of time that you could book it, because I was trying to land a midterm tenant. So I would only have it maybe a month in advance that you could book, just to make sure I was still making my income while I was looking for a midterm tenant. Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a few months to reach out and get everything ready. But after about 4 or 5 months, I finally landed a midterm tenant. I had an insurance company reach out to me, and they said they had someone in my neighborhood whose house burned down, and they needed a house for about a year. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. We went back and forth, negotiated a little bit, and I ended up getting about double my mortgage payments. And yeah, so it's working out pretty good. They've been staying in there for the past 6 months, and it's almost just basically just passive. Don't really have much maintenance anymore. Don't have to deal with any tenants and turnover and cleaning crews. So it's I love it. I definitely recommend it. But just know going into it that you might have to do a little bit of both, of Airbnb and midterm. So yeah, because my tenants they're planning on moving out, I think in a few months. So I have to start looking now for another midterm tenant, and if I can't find one, I'm gonna have to supplement it with Airbnb just in the meantime. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's been a journey. It's going smooth so far, and yeah, I'm gonna hopefully pick up another house before the end of the year, and yeah, just replicate the process. If you guys have any questions on how to look for housing and do analysis on your market, just drop a comment, reach out to me. I'm going to be making a lot more content, hopefully about a couple videos, 3 videos a week, just on midterm, Airbnb, what your mindset, stuff like that. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.